Hello, good morning, welcome to Floramancer. I hope everyone is well this morning. It's gonna be a very chill compared to my usual streams. Very relaxed. I have not slept very well for the entire week, so I feel like a zombie. I thought we'd just do some creative building today, add some decorative features to our world, you know, make them look nice. So that is what we're going to do today. Let me mute my phone because I forgot to do that. Okay. So, first, as always, I'm going to show you what I have done between streams. It's been 2 weeks since I streamed, so I'll show you the little bit of stuff that I did, and then we'll get going on what I've been working on already this morning. So let's see. What did I do? I covered the rest of the ground with the glimmering flowers, so there's no more torches on the ground in this area. They're all flowers, which looks really lovely. I like it a lot, so I'm probably going to continue that trend. The mana rune has been automated. I even put in the little bit of pixel art sort of doodad. Now, I've had my husband mention, he said they don't quite look like the runes since it's curved or what, and I'm like, that's fine for me. The point was to make it look sort of like the rune, just so that I can recognize this one's the earth one, this is the summer one, this is the mana one, and so on and so forth. Yeah, there's the fire, there's the, that looks like autumn, and I think this is water and winter, and we've got oh no, that's water, this is air, then air, water, spring. Yeah, I just wanted to be able to recognize them. So the mana rune has been automated, including the resource checks underneath, so that's all set up, and it has a stockpile there, which means I've also automated the Rosa Arcana over here. And that's this one right here. And it, like I said, it's exactly like these others, so I didn't think you needed to see. But there you go. That's the Rosa Arcana, and I've got it set up here. It goes up to 33 because I just pulled off of this comparator signal, and it drops it down one more. We're using 4 an hour. I increased the amount I had over here, and the reason I did that is because sometimes the XP was floating into the corners and not getting close enough, so I just added more roses, and then I also automated every single one of the setups so that it'll automatically request roses. So yeah, I moved this forward and expanded it in preparation. I need way more than this, but this is just the start. In preparation for getting the Lunium made, which will go in here, and it will send the mobs over to here to be killed by our already working killing setup. So eventually that will happen. Not today. I'm really not in the mood, and I don't have the brain power today. So the Shatterer, I have picked it up temporarily. It is currently at an A rank, which is pretty darn awesome. Not that this didn't shut off, because it's off. We've got 35 mana pools right now. I just didn't need it running at the moment. I think we have it so that it turns on when there's 40 or something. I'm not sure. But we did drop in mana, and I knew this was going to happen, and anytime you have a world as complex, and it's going to get even more complex as I do, sometimes, maybe not even with complexity, these pressure plates, They don't have to be gold. Any pressure plate just stops responding, doesn't send a redstone signal. And so when I was on here doing my setting up of the rune and the flower, this whole pad wasn't running, and so the mana wasn't being rebuilt fast enough, because I also had the Shatterer at the same time. So the Shatterer was sucking up mana, and then we couldn't make enough mana to rebuild that fast enough. So I've slapped an hourglass up here for when this does get stuck and I notice it. Sometimes relogging works, but yeah, I just put an hourglass with some sand in it, and it kind of at least gets it halfway going for a while. I also did the bit of the farm that I said I was going to, so I completed that other layer, this one here. It was only half done before, it is now completely done on that side, so it's still more potatoes and wheat. That's all I've got going. Probably do carrots and beets up here, because that's all we have left for those. But what I might do is be carrots, potatoes, beets, and potatoes or something. We need a hefty amount of potatoes for our progress toward a colossal potato. We're not very far. In fact, this hasn't had a whole lot of mana for a long while, and it's only pulling it from here, so it makes sense. Those are all dead. Are they gonna drop soon? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. So we're working through this one. This is the medium to jumbo. We have one jumbo, and it looks like we have 7 mediums, so 2 more mediums to go. And as you can see, we've got some progress to make before we get a second jumbo. But we get 9 of these, and when this one has one in it, we'll be able to put it over here and keep moving. So yeah, there's that. I think that's it. I think that is it. I haven't done a whole lot of anything else that I can think of. Now, what I have started this morning is right here. I've spent about 3 hours this morning. I'm not sleeping well, as I said, so I've been up a while. This is our Jaded Amaranthus farm, remember? It's making all of our flowers, and I enclosed it with the Bifrost blocks. They give off light and they shimmer and change colors. You can make them by using your Bifrost rod, which we made. So you use Alf glass and the Bifrost rod, and you'll get Bifrost blocks that you can place, and these are permanent. If you just use a Bifrost rod in open air, it creates the temporary blocks that despawn after a certain amount of time. So yeah, so I've got those encasing the farm, and then I just did a decorative, what I'm calling a flower pot, a decorative outside. Let's show you one without the roots on it. So there's the decorative outside. I still wanted to be able to see the flowers because it adds a bit of color to the whole thing. And then this is the side that has the petals on it. So I did make a controller, and behind there, these 2 blocks next to it are trim that look like living rock brick to connect to the drawers so that we can actually access the drawers easier here. Again, I did move it up as well. So yeah. We do have a little bit of space because this is the top. We do have a little bit of space if we wanted to add more jaded and go up a couple more layers. But right now we're just fine. And then the top is more grass with the start of what we're working on today. We are going to put a giant bonsai styled tree up here. It's going to be massive. It's going to be very massive. I haven't even checked to see what is our Y level. 116. We're fine. I haven't decided exactly if it's going to lean in one way or the other. I did decide I wanted the roots to overgrow the pot and try to seek water, which happens to be down here. So I have the roots reaching out for water down here. I don't have it actually going in the water because that may break our hydrangea generator. So it looks like they're in the water, but they're not. And then these apparently didn't do a very good job finding water. So that's what I have so far. The reason I wanted to put a bit of root around here is because since this is so close to the edge of this stairway, I wanted a way to get around it. And this was my idea. Yeah. So we'll see how well I do here. I need to thicken this up just a bit more. It's not thick enough, this root coming out seeking. But I have a reference picture. All I did was Google bonsai trees and found one that I thought was pretty. So that's what we're doing. We're going to try to mimic the actual bonsai tree that I'm looking at, which let me describe it because I can't put it on screen. I don't have the copyright for it. It's got a really thick trunk that kind of gently waves back and forth just a little bit. In the trunk, it's relatively straight because you've seen a lot of, probably the traditional bonsai is one that's got a big curve out in one direction or something. This one's not like that. This one actually has flowers in it, so we're gonna be doing some of that too. Because I was like, yeah, flowers. But yeah, so this will wave a little bit, and it's kind of got a conical shape in the leaf structure with a few big branches, but still more conical, and then a bunch of greenery and flower, looks almost like hydrangea bunches. So the big chunky flowers, so we'll be able to do that with petal blocks and the pink leaves that we've got here from the blossoming trees. So that will be nice. So yeah, from the reference picture we're using, it actually kind of looks like there are two trees that are smushed together, which is why I've created this little crevice here to kind of give it the mimic of two trees smushed together. And we'll have to change the shape quite a bit. I just wanted to get a start of a trunk sort of thing going and then work from there. It's going to be a slow, pokey process. I'm going to like poke and place and fiddle with. I'm starting with just basic living wood, but once we get a structure going, I'm going to be able to pull some glimmering and some mossy and maybe, I don't know if we can get living root. Can we craft a living root? No, didn't think so. I know that's the stuff you get at the very beginning of the Garden of Glass game. I do not know if I'm going to use any of these, the patterned ones, because that's not quite very natural. But we'll do living wood and mossy and glimmering. I know the mossy is only in planks, but it still looks okay. Let me place one down here. So it's mossy enough that it doesn't quite look like planks. So yeah, that's what we're going to work on. I'm going to start again with just regular living wood and creating the shape of the trunk and the branches. So if creative building does not interest you, this is probably not the stream for you. If I've had enough sleep for tomorrow, we'll be able to get back into progression. Setting up or crafting a lunium and setting up the lunium so we can get loot. And then I'd like to work toward getting the runes I need automated for the Narslimus so that we can fully automate the Narslimus generator. Which, let me remind you, are autumn runes and ones I think I already have. Water, we don't have those either. So we have quite a bit of automation ahead of us to set up, some farms to set up before we'll be able to automate this flower. But that is the next flower I want to fully automate. And then probably, as far as generating flowers, the Gormarillus is very likely the next one we're going to do. Yeah, because I've got wheat and potatoes that just galore, so we'll be able to feed it wheat and potatoes. Over time we'll change it to the other things that I have selected, like pumpkin pie, steak, pork chops, or maybe rabbit stew if we can get rabbits. So yeah. Anyway, I do not know if I want to have a second root break out of the flower pot or not. If I do, I would probably want it on this side somewhere and maybe not go all the way down. So I have that to decide as well. But okay, the base of trees tends to be bulkier. I mean, you've got the bigger base and then it goes up. So I do need to work on a little bit of bulk. And again, this is going to be a bunch of just block placing, and it's manual block placement. So we're just gonna see how things look and go from there. Just trying to give it some texture and get rid of anything that looks really flat. We'll do that. Yeah. That works there. Uh-huh. And now that looks too square for me. All right, that I'm happy with. So let's build this up a little bit more. This is our root that's growing out. And I don't know how chunky I want it to be at the top, so let's give it some chunkiness and go from there. That's pretty good. Sure. Okay. And now that looks too... I might be able to change that up with texture differences so it's not quite so smooth. All right, and this is the side we're going to see the most. So this is the side I want to look the best, and we can work on the other sides from there. So in the reference image, as I told you, it looks like two trunks are smushed together and they kind of do a slow S. Now to do something like that, we're going to use this crack to help create that. What I want to do is make it really tall and then carve in the extra bit of S so we can carve in the middle and then shape the outside. That's the hope. And it looks relatively the same width until you get about 2/3 of the way up. So, whoop. I just clicked when I didn't want to click and it filled in the crack. So let's bring that back out. Okay. And where are we here? What's the Y level? 128. Let's bring this up to like 135. It's about there. All right, and now we're gonna try and create some shape in this by curving it here. So it looks like it would naturally go that way. And we'll pull it out a little bit this way, but I want to create the curve in here. Let's see if we can't help it a little bit there. And if we made this just a little bigger, perhaps. Alright, so this side will need to come out quite a bit. So we'll start building it out. To help with this curve. And how far out do we want to go here? Straight first, rounded later. We'll pull it out a little bit further, but it's going to give a subtle look to it going that way. Okay. If we pull it out to here. Yep, that's good. And then we'll push it back this way a little bit. All right. So that's kind of the look we're going for. This is too straight, this line here, so we'll have to deal with that. And this is too straight, so we'll have to break that up a bit too. All right, so let's see. We took it out that far. Okay, create that shape a bit. Kind of fill it in, even though it's a waste of blocks, simply because I don't want mobs spawning inside of it. That's start of something. Now let's give it some texture. Or, well, not quite texture, but yeah. make it feel alive. Got quite the sun glare on my screen right now. Well, that helps a little. Of course, the window that is creating the sun glare is not the one that I have the darker shades that can close on top of. All right. And now it's dark. This side comes out, so we need to make it less uniform. And we also are going to have to figure out that there will be branches and leaves to help disguise some of our flaws in this. So I'm not super worried about what it looks like now because we'll be able to change it and tweak it. However we want in a bit. Alright, so I like that bit of a shape. There's a little too much down here. Okay. Hi Hubry, nice to see you. We're just building today. So I'm working on my Jaded Amaranthus farm. We're putting a giant bonsai tree on top. This platform is supposed to be woody green, filled with naturey looking stuff, this platform, because we decided on each platform being a different color palette, and this one ended up being browns and greens. So browns and greens are going to be over here. Yay. I am slowly rebuilding mana. I used a whole bunch of it. Okay, we're not slowly anymore. We were at 36 when I started my stream 33 minutes ago. I did turn off my Origin right now, just because I'm not using it at the moment. So, anyway. Yeah, with Phosphor installed, I still only get down to like 25 around when I look around. I do have particles on minimal. When I have Phosphor not installed and I turn particles back to maximum, I get about 15 frames in this direction where I've got all the stuff going on. So, yeah. That's just kind of the life. But anyway, so we're back to reshaping. We're trying to shape a gentle curve, probably just one decent one, and then have it come back, and then the point will be up here somewhere. And then we have to add all the lovely branches and leaves. Yeah, it happens with every modded world. You're not wrong. Nope, not at all. So, I totally understand. Those boxes drive me nuts. I can't wait till I can figure out what I'm going to do to make them look nice. Just the boxes are driving me nuts. Alright, so since we went out this side, we need to kind of chisel this in just a touch. Like I said, the reference image that I'm using, the trunk is pretty chunky and just looks kind of wavy. It doesn't actually have any sharp bends in it, because I thought that would be really hard to recreate. I really do. I think it'd be really hard. So there's definitely a decent start. You start punching. Not going for perfect, going for, ooh, that looks neat. That kind of works for me. I may want to, like, bulk this out just a touch. Alright, so what's this side doing? So we have a big chunk that we need to shape there. We need to reshape this cutout just a bit. Make it look good. And we can do that by just adding a bit of bulk here. We'll figure out what we're doing. Alright, so this spot here. Okay, so this is too flat. That works for now. And I think our first branch. So what I want is a branch coming out about right here. Not sure how far yet, but one coming around this area. So it'll accent this curve. It'll then go whoosh, big branch with lots of leaves. But another branch I actually would love to have. I would really like to have one down lower, like around here coming out. So one like here, one there. And there's gonna be smaller ones too, but I'm thinking 3 relatively large ones. This one I think will be a hefty size. This one will be a medium size, and then a little further up here will be another that's smaller, and then we'll have the crown at the top. And yeah. Okay, so darn that sun glare. Let me see if I can shut this light off if that helps. Maybe a little. It doesn't help that Living wood is a really dark block. Oh. Alright, this side probably looks terrible. Well, it's not that bad, but we definitely need to shape it. And let's fill this in and get it built out. This is where it kind of bends this direction. You really wish, like, all the retexture attempts didn't stop. You wish someone would finish retextures? Like, look, I retextured living rock and living wood, and then that's as far as they get. That sort of thing. I want to knock you out a little bit, and maybe let's put one here. That kind of helps give that. And this is such a straight line. How do I fix that a bit? Oh, it's dark again. I would do the permanent change for the day, but it's my regular world, and I don't want to forget that it's done. Well, it looks pretty craggly. I mean, it's not bad, especially if we put a branch somewhere to kind of cover up. As I said, we're using branches and leaves to cover mistakes or areas that are like, that doesn't look so great. Like, okay, so we have the front where it definitely is obviously looking like it curves that direction. Do you think the back would look that way too? I'm not quite so sure. I definitely want to make it look like the reference image looks like there's actually two trees that have been mushed together, and so there's a dent in the middle where the two trunks have been forced to grow in a S shape together. But I don't know if it would do that on this side too, or if I want to make it do that here. And then I keep thinking maybe this actually needs to go over a little further. Just to give it a little illusion of shape. Alright, so let's add some more on the top and see where we can go for the next chunk. Okay. Can't wait till we can throw some texture blocks in. Let's actually put them in our... We're gonna do, since none of these I can really use, all the chisel, the unlimited chisel works because they're all plank variants. But I am going to use the mossy planks and the glimmering. And if I could get root, I would, but you can't craft it. You can only get it at the very beginning, so... And then I definitely want the wall. Oh, I have the walls. Yeah. But we're starting with one texture so that we can actually just get the shape. All right, so we have this relative shape. So this needs to go this direction. So we need to chisel this out just a little bit and put it onto there to give it that shape. And then we're probably going to start pointing it off and put the crown up here because I don't want this to be overly scary. It's already going to be a dominating feature. Not that I don't already have several dominating features in my world, but it's gonna... I want it to come out to about here. That looks like probably about 4 or 5 thickness. So we need to chisel in about that much. do that. Let's start here. And with the old hidden blocks. Is that enough? No, we want to, let's do a bit more. That's a pretty decent. I do this and then cut it over to here. This will probably all come off, but I'm just doing this shape first on this side, and then we'll expand it over here so that it has more of a curve that way, which does mean this bit here there's the beginning of our S going back this direction, and it'll probably go right there, and then we'll build this out. All right, let's build this side out quite a bit. How far, I'm not sure yet. That's pretty nice. All right, if we do that kind of a shape, we have a lot of texturing to do here. But this lends itself really well to having a branch come out here, and one down here. So this bonsai, for the most part that I'm looking at, the front face, which is this for us, this is going to be our front, is mostly, you can see almost the entire trunk all the way up to the top of the tree, which means there's no branches coming out at us. They're all going to the sides. And I think there might be a little bit more in the back of it, but granted, I only have one view that we're going off of. So let's fill this in a little bit. And then trying to create that little S shape of the two trunks moving together. That's a little bit like it. Let's bulk you out just a touch. And that means there needs to be something here. And then this shape I'll have to refine. One side at a time. Gotta tweak one side at a time. Alright, so if we bulk this up, so we would need to come out quite a ways. I haven't built a giant tree like this in years, so it's a process that I'm trying to remember everything I liked about it. Like now this is really flat right here, but I think what it might do is do best to come out a bit to help compensate for this piece that is really square. Okay, so we might need to work on that a little bit more. Let's knock you off. I don't like how square you ended up being from this angle. It's okay. I feel like I need something there. And then we start coming around here and this looks this looks like a good place for a branch so that I don't have to try to figure that out. And then this side, we still want to carry some kind of a curve because there is two trunks technically smushed together. So if we did that there, we'd take some of that off a bit. And boy, do I need sleep, guys. Whew. How many of you have had decent sleep in the past 2 days? You feel rested? I do not feel rested. I haven't had decent sleep in like 6 days, so, and I am more fortunate than other people in that I normally get 8 hours of sleep. Normally. And for me to only get 5 to 6 hours of sleep is a huge deficit on my body. So, yeah, that's what I'm dealing with. While other people are like, I can run just fine on 5 or 6 hours of sleep. I've never been that kind of a person, and I recognize that in myself. How's that for a wiggly trunk? It's not bad, and I wanted it to look not smooth and perfect. You know, I didn't want that look. And again, we're gonna add branches and leaves and probably flowers because that's the world. So it won't look quite so. Yeah. So the top here, you know, most crowns of trees just narrow out, and that's really what we're probably gonna do here, is just narrow it out. This is an oversized bonsai. That's kind of the goal, yes. I'm hoping that that's what it will appear to be when I'm done. I'm hoping. So let's try to narrow out the top. Yeah, it would make it a normal tree, but not. You're you're not wrong. And I guess any tree that you custom make in a Minecraft world could be considered a bonsai tree, since that's what a bonsai is a custom made tree. So, alright, so there's the start of us narrowing out the tree just a bit. Looking forward to changing the texture and getting this to be filled with foliage. Also, hi! Alright. That works for me. Let's perch. Give it a good look. Just wanted a gentle curve in it, kind of a... yeah. And then branches. Big branch, probably coming out and slide up and out here. And then another one at this spot here coming up and not quite as far out here. And then there's going to be little branches and then the crown. So start with the big ones and go from there. Right? So if we do that, do we want to do the texturing of the trunk first? We'll do walls last to give it a little better shape. Because I want to definitely add some mossy and glimmering to give it some life. Thinking. All right. All right. How's that side looking? Let's see here. That's pretty good. Let's start with the glimmering. And yep. Get some more life. Do I like the glimmering? Yes, yes I do. Okay. This very heavy mossy area will also have a bunch of glimmering in it right there. Okay. It's a very pretty block, I agree. Glimmering living wood just makes things look so cool. It's also really good if you're going for a radioactive effect. If you were doing like a high-tech sort of thing and you had this in the walls, it would look like something's gone radioactive. So there's that thought too. I like that it gives off light because I don't have to slap torches on the tree. You did an elven build with a bunch of living wood hidden in the treetops. Cool. That sounds really neat. Yeah, you know, builds are never finished. Never! Who would finish a build? Let's see here. We're gonna start. Again, we're just doing one side at a time here. Oh, that's why you don't start builds? Well, like, okay. Looking at my builds, a lot of these are not done. This is not done, even though we're living in it. I mean, our storage is in here and everything, and our check off our trackers for making sure we get everything done. It's not technically done. None of this storage is connected to Corporea. That's totally not done. I haven't even finished, like, you see the front doorway here? I haven't done it on the other three sides. It's not done. And the inside's not done, and you can't access this layer or that layer from the floor. And the inside isn't designed. It's still just... Yeah. But there's progress. I'm super happy about the walls around the inside of here. Getting those done. So I have the walls all the way around. With all the flowers and lanterns. And I even did the back sides with more lanterns and flowers. You only finished truly finished a build. I think if you look back on my YouTube channel and you go to the Magical 3 playthrough, that was the furthest I've ever been on a build. I was making a Gothic cathedral. That's what I was making. Okay, so I like this side. So now to do the same thing on the other sides and get rid of that zombie. How much is this is spawnable? Well, not a whole lot on the side that there's glimmering living wood, which is good. So we just need to get more of that on all the other sides. It's been quite a while, but it was with Forge multi-blocks? It was before Chisel and Bits was a thing. Chisel and Bits would have totally made that build look amazing. It really would. Let's put a bit here on this root that is overgrowing. Uh-huh. Move. Go away. I don't want to cheat in a sword just to kill you, so go away. Move. At least move. Thank you. Alright. Yeah, it has definitely been a few years since that. I loved that world. I still have that world. It was on a server and I asked for it when the server closed. Because I just really enjoyed the Gothic Cathedral. I did all the crap. I don't even remember the architectural terms anymore. The flying buttresses and stained glass windows. There was another build you remember doing that you liked. Well, what was the build? I could tell you what pack it was, probably. Big circular structure just off the coast that had maybe, circular structure in the water. It's actually not ringing a bell. Maybe I didn't like it. I'm not sure. Was it up in the air or was it on the water? And I'm having to go back, what, 10? I've been streaming since 2017. I didn't even get close to finishing it. Well, I mean, that makes sense. Trying to think about what it was, though. And you're true, it might be why I don't remember it, so... Alright, how's this side looking? Too much glimmering right in the middle, not enough on the sides. Let's put one over here. Do you remember what blocks I used? It's kind of irking me that I can't remember. Or if it was a main base, or if it had a theme. Oh, no. It's way too long ago. Yeah, that tends to happen. Okay, so let's do this side. It was most likely a magical pack, yeah. That's tend to be where I lean. But yeah. It makes me want to like, let's bring up my YouTube and just look at my playlists. It'll probably jog my mind a bit. Creative playlist. Wonder if it was my Enigmatica 2. Was it a whole, if it was, that wasn't quite circular, but it's where I consumed an entire island. And I used a whole bunch of Astral Sorcery Marble, and I did a whole bunch of Chisel and Bits with Liquid Starlight and Mineral, Liquid Mineral. So it was like blue and sparkly and white. And I did a bunch of like temple-y looking builds. I think the goal was to make tech look magical. So there was tech, but it looked kind of magical. Yeah, I converted a Mushroom Island. So yep. Then we figured it out. Yeah, I enjoyed that world too. That was another server that I wasn't able to get the world save from when it ended. So that's not one I could load up again. Could totally load up magical, my magical 3 world, and that, or 2, whatever one it was. It was even an incomplete pack. It never got out of beta. I think the pack dev just abandoned it. But yep. I liked that one too, and I appreciate that you did. It was a good world. I still really like my regrowth world, but that might just be because it was my very first stream world. My first foray into streaming was with regrowth. So, you kind of have nostalgia over your first world that you do, where other people can watch it develop. And you do get a lot of positive feelings usually from that sort of thing. And that I used a bunch of Forge microblocks in too. I mean, almost the entire base was microblocked to give it shape and texture. And I don't want you there. Can you go away? Thank you. Regrowth is still an amazing pack, yes, and people still play it. I don't want to go all the way back to 1.7.10, especially with Botania at 1.7.10. It felt relatively incomplete and buggy at 1.7.10. But yeah. So we need one. Let's do here. But yeah, with regrowth, I played it before it was even finished, before Academy Craft was added, and whatever the village, not Mine Colonies, but whatever the other one is that was added before Applied Energistics was really added to it. Millionaire, yes, thank you, Hubry, that one. So I played that, and that one I really liked too. That was my Roman villa, and then I also had a bunch of Roman temples, and I built a Colosseum for blood magic, because, you know, where else are you going to have blood magic? And yeah, so I had the Roman villa. That was really fun to make, and I got really into bees. I used bees to make buildcraft fuel, I think. I know I used a Thaumcraft chunk, whatever the one that has the ones that were mutated, the mutated chunks. I can't remember what they are now. Let's see if I have any dark spots I need to take care of. Yeah, no, not the tainted. They were dark. When you flew into them, the light changed, and the eerie biomes, thank you. Because for bees, they had normal temperature and they had normal bee stats. So I was able to grow my bees, do my bee stuff without changing the biome or having to change the bees to tolerate the regrowth world. And yeah, so I had all of my bees that were making oil or fuel. I can't remember how done up I did. I loved Thaumcraft 4. That's the one that I could play with all the add-ons. All the add-ons. Thaumic Energistics and Thaumic Tinkerer, and yep. Just yeah. I could play Thaumcraft to death. And I loved the mini game, and I enjoyed the distillation with the pipes and the pressures, and yeah. I think this is looking pretty good. I like how glowing it is. I like how it just looks alive. So I think it's time to start figuring out where the branches are going. Oh, we have one spot here. And hey, Darkwing. Hi there. We want to, let's put that there, and I'll put a torch or something. Maybe I'll do some of the glimmering flowers that I have in the grass there. Okay. All right, now back to the front of it. If you couldn't tell, it's me clapping. Yay!